All right. Welcome, everyone, to the 2022 Sins of a Solar Empire World Championship. It's been a long road to get here. We've had a lot of phenomenal games leading up to this point, but this is the money match where everything comes together and the winner brings home $5 in Chuck E. Cheese tokens. You know me, my name is Jimmy Bob Jim. I'm joined here by Talix. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Italics, and this is going to be a really Italics fight, as you can tell here.
Yeah, absolutely. We have two of the greatest Sins of a Solar Empire players on the planet queued up here and ready to go, and the match is starting soon. Three, two, one. All right, we're getting in there. Let's go ahead and quickly introduce our players. We've got the Hueful Nomads coming in, running the Vibra skin here. They're bringing in they're Vazari Rebels this game. One of the best Vazari Rebel players on the planet. We've seen them conquer a lot of weird situations. That occupation victory game in the middle of the tournament, they swept that cleanly, and that was just a fantastic game to watch. And we've got the Yak Order Zealots in the other corner, bringing the Advent. They're going Advent Rebel on this. Yeah, they're going Advent Rebel for this one, which is an interesting pick on a map this small. I think it definitely is the best just sort of faction in general for the Titan, but I also think that Advent Loyalists may have been a better pick on a map that's this small. As you can see, we have a very small map here. There are only 9 planets total in this map, so this is going to be very close quarters, frantic combat. We can see that both of the players are currently sending out their scout ships. We've got some the Yak Order Zealots making the first move on this asteroid called Mjolnir, apparently. And you might notice they've got an artifact on this asteroid, Italics. This is going to be a huge deal for them. Because if this artifact turns out to be good, it could change the course of the game. They have a massive advantage potentially on this asteroid. And you can see we've got some very standard capital ship picks for the beginning of the game. We've got the good old Discord battleship coming in. Lots of AoE abilities, great at taking out large fleets, which is what you're probably going to be up against at some point in this game, especially with the Vazari Rebels on the other side, building a lot of Disciple vessels there. Now, the Hueful Nomads gone for an interesting pick here. How do you feel about this Marauder pick from the Hueful Nomads? It's not usually something you see in the beginning of the game.
It's very true, Italics. So as you can see here, because the map is so small, it might be beneficial to start off with a blitz and hopefully secure an easy, fast win. As you can see here, they're sending in these ships so that they can hopefully capture this in record time.
Now, it's absolutely true that you want to blitz, but it doesn't look like, well, it's a little bit too early to tell even. The Marauder, if they can build another capital ship to support this, which is what I think the Nomads are going for here, then the Marauder will allow them to execute a blitz with Distort Gravity, as it will speed up all of their ships. However, the Yak Order Zealots, honestly, well equipped to deal with a blitz from the enemy at this point, because that Discord battleship with the AoE abilities is going to be able to cut through anything that they send out. And it looks like, yeah, they've gone and secured this asteroid. The Nomads have secured their asteroid almost. It looks like Yak Order Zealots are making better time. They have quite a bigger fleet at the moment. And we're looking at 13 Disciples already with Corvettes on the way. Now, that's quite quick production of the fleet here, so this is going to turn into a very exciting game very, very soon.
Seeming like quite a capable enemy here. As we well know, the Discord class battleship, it's a pretty good pick. It's a side grade to the Zoom class battleship.
Hmm.
And the Zoom class battleship has a very interesting ability called the group call, where it can summon all the frigates on the map at the same time in a one area, which could potentially turn into a very interesting choke point battle. So
That
as we see
was,
here,
yeah, that was extremely overpowered in the beta, as we saw with some of the early championships from 2016, 2017. Very, very overpowered, had to get nerfed immediately, so I'm glad we're not seeing that in this game.
Yeah, thankfully they brought out the Discord class, which doesn't have such an OP ability. As we know, the Discord class can sweat really hard. It's actually called the Sweating Bullets ability, which literally sweats bullets at enemy fighter craft. It's a very good anti-aircraft ability, and we might see that if they decide to start putting out fighters.
And you know that Visari Rebel players love their strike craft, so I will bet you that we will see a lot of fighters this game. Probably also a lot of bombers too. It looks like we might get us. Okay, we're engaging in our first scuffle here at this asteroid belt. It looks like the Nomads are going for a long-range frigate-based build. We have the Assailants already in production. Now, the Yuck Order Zealots absolutely swarming with Disciples, but the Disciples, of course, they're very cheap, but they're not very effective individually. They are the most cost-effective light frigate, but they can be torn to shreds by groups of anti-light frigate like these long-range missile frigates. So I don't know if this is going to work out for them. They seem to be catching this skirmisher out. The two are basically forming a front on this asteroid field. And, wow, that Corvette is already dead. That was fast. Are there any reinforcements coming in?
Scuffle here.
Yeah, it looks like they're executing the Blitz strategy. We've got side results. They already have built a siege frigate. They're going in for the rush, but they don't have the fleet to support that rush. The capital ship's coming in, Marauders coming in. It's going to be able to mop up a huge amount of experience from all of these disciple vessels.
I have a feeling we're going to see a bloodbath here, Italy.
This right here is going to be an absolute bloodbath. Are they going to try to sneak the siege frigate in? No, the siege frigate, they're actually just... No, they're running away. They're running away from the asteroid belt. It looks like with the arrival of that Marauder, they don't want to feed the Marauder the experience. That is an extremely smart idea. Unless they've already brought drone hosts. No, they're gunning to just... They're here to stay. They want to take this asteroid belt. Where's the Discord battleship? Battleship coming in? That battleship might be coming in. The abilities of the battleship are really going to be able to shine here on this asteroid belt. But you've got to consider, at this belt, all weapons have a 20% chance to miss, which is going to make some of these long-range frigates much less effective than their light frigate counterparts.
As you can see, the frigates are now being brought in a little closer, so hopefully that engagement distance can get a little bit more effective.
They're definitely closing the distance. They are staying in. The Purge vessel, the siege frigate, has just slipped by. Nomads made a huge mistake letting that through. It's going straight to their home planet. Now, it's not going to be able to do much damage.
Risky play right there.
That is a risky play. That's the sort of blitz play we were hoping to see. Now, I'm not exactly sure what they think they're going to accomplish with this one Purge frigate, but it might distract them long enough to get an edge in this fight here, which this is an all-out bloodbath right now. You were absolutely correct about that assessment. The capital ship is in here already level 2. It was level 2 when it came in, but it's probably going to be level 3 really soon. There it is.
There it goes.
They're retreating now. They really should have done that earlier. They're feeding levels, so this is going to be able to level up Distort Gravity. They're deciding to stay again. They're deciding to turn around and fight again. It is absolutely a losing fight here.
It all goes to show, you just never know.
You just never know what they're going to do. Zealots are... Gosh, these guys are they're a very loose element here. Very much a rogue player. You can never really guess what they're going to do, and it looks like they're here to stay in. They might just want to pick off a couple of the Nomads ships. And as you know, the Nomads ships, the Visari Rebel ships, are going to be a lot more expensive. So it is sort of a form of economic warfare to go after these ships. And, you know, good game knowledge on the Zealots' part by actually focusing fire on the Sentinel, because those light frigate weapons are going to be doing extra damage to those flak frigates there. So that's a very smart move by them.
Absolutely. Because of the higher quality of those vessels, it does turn out to be a better strategy. The only problem is making sure that you have the economic output in order to keep this assault up. Yeah. And I have a feeling that that will be the deciding factor for the skirmish. We might end up seeing this battle go on for the entirety of the game.
It very well might last for the entire game. Absolutely. Some of those battles just go on forever. It looks like they're both sending in a constant, steady stream of reinforcements, and neither have fully colonized their ice planet. This battleship kind of just hanging out here, not really sure what the hell that's doing. But, you know, Zealot's much better player than I am at this game, so I can't really judge. that might be just some sort of 500 IQ play there to keep it there,
Doesn't
just in
seem too
case.
unreasonable.
Oh, you know what they
Given
could
that,
be?
they could slip by.
That
It's a very high possibility.
one of those. I did see a destructor. I did see a siege frigates. There it is. Well, it's destroyed now, but it might have been able to slip by and actually go straight for their unprotected asteroid down here, which would have been pretty bad. Now, I'm not sure if this planet's artifact has been explored yet, but they may or may not have control of that yet.
I don't know if you just noticed, but one of the crafts actually just landed there.
Right, we saw the Quartal Devastator brought in. They're definitely looking to pinch out this game early. Now, I was mentioning at the
Ooh,
beginning
looks like they're
with,
retreating.
yeah, Zealots have fully retreated at this point. I think that they may have just decided that they got all of the, ships that they wanted to destroy out of the way. Were they able to take out? They were actually able to take out all of the flak frigates from the Nomads, so that's one victory there, but that is a little bit of a Pyrrhic victory, I believe, at this point,
I
because...
believe what we have witnessed is actually quite a pivotal moment. If you notice, this node right here is actually connected to a bunch of different other systems. It's almost like a choke point in a way, given that where they actually retreated to is also connected to a lot of places.
I
So
would
I have a feeling
absolutely
we will see
say
a lot of conflict along these two asteroid fields right here.
this is definitely, and it looks like ships passing in the night, their armies are going straight by one another. I
They're
don't
high-fiving on
think...
the way in.
Yeah, I do not think the Zealots or the Nomads were expecting this, but now this puts them both in a kind of interesting position, Italics, because the Zealots could go straight for either of these planets. Now, their home planet over here, the Nomads, is... Well, neither is actually particularly well defended at the moment. They are, of course, building defenses as we speak, but they could take their army and go straight for any of these planets. Or
Oh,
they
I
could
don't know
try
if
to
you just
stay...
noticed that. They're moving in.
They are moving in? They are absolutely moving in. Oh my gosh, Alex, I'm very glad you pointed that out because they're going straight for the Yak Order Zealots' home planet here, and their fleet is over here completely distracted.
We might be witnessing a blitz in the making right here.
This is just not very good for the Yak Order Zealots. There are very few defenses, meager defenses at this planet. They're trying to build hangar defenses as we speak.
It's only a matter of time. Oh, it looks like they might be
Oh, they
retreating.
did
I'm
not
not
quite...
exactly sure what they're doing.
I don't think that they brought enough forces with them. You will notice that they did leave both of their capital ships at this asteroid. They may have forgotten to click on this one. That would have been a very rookie mistake, but we've seen worse things from some of these competitors. Although, that being said, the fact that both of these capital ships are here is allowing both of them to generate a lot of experience.
Well, we came in here expecting carnage, and I believe we are getting it now, Italics. This is quite some serious damage we're witnessing right here.
It just goes to show you never know what's going to happen in these skirmishes. It looks like the Discord battleship has finally woken up and has decided to engage, going straight for that Marauder. Marauder shields are pretty low. If the Zealots are able to focus fire this Marauder, it could lead to it going down, and that would be bad because evidently they want it for some strategy. I mean, they did build it as their very first capital ship, so clearly it is useful to them in some capacity.
We just saw a level up there.
We just saw level up. The Discord is now level 3. It's unclear at this point who truly has the advantage. Going in for another sneaky purge vessel. You'll notice that still neither of these ice planets have been colonized. But we do have a massive battle going on here regardless. It is a very interesting strategy to completely ignore these planets. That's not something you typically see in high-level play, but this is the highest of highest-level plays, and different strategies do apply here.
If either of them decide to hunker down and start investing into their economies, we might see it play out into the longer game, but it looks like they're going full aggression right now. If any of them were to turn away, it'd basically force the other to do so as well. So right now it's kind of just a stalemate until someone gets a slight upper hand.
That's absolutely true, and that upper hand might come for the Yaks here. If they're able to actually take out this Marauder, it's taking a significant amount of damage. The Discord is 2, though, because it does have the Quartal, as you are very well aware, is the probably the best capital ship for dueling. It can take on any capital ship 1v1 without much problem at all. But the Zealots are doing the smart thing and going for the Marauder, which is already very heavily damaged, only taking more damage by the minute. Those bombers are really tearing it apart. So
we might see it get down here.
we might see it go down. That's very possible. I don't think that the Nomads have brought enough anti-air to deal with the amount of strike craft. See, this is what the Discord is good against, and they've brought it against their enemy. You'll notice all these strike craft here, they've brought, what is that, 5 drone hosts with them? So, yeah, it
seems to be so.
It's no wonder the Marauder is going down so quickly. Those bombers are ravaging its armor, and if they don't pull out, it very well might be dead.
Stripping it apart like vultures to a corpse.
That's absolutely right. It's just like mosquitoes. And it's leveled up again.
Ripping the paint right off.
And they're just absolutely not letting it. I think the time may have passed for this to... Oh, hold that thought. The pirates are getting ready to launch an assault. We'll see if they are able to place any bounty on each other, but they may be more focused entirely on just building up their forces for this one fight at this asteroid belt.
If you notice, there's some side stuff going on, a bit of a small skirmish here.
Yeah,
but compared to the absolute carnage that is happening down below, I think it pales in comparison.
Yeah, this carnage is... I don't want to miss the Marauder going down. It looks like they have opted not to retreat at all, and are just deciding to take the loss on this one. Which, as I mentioned...
Just trying to do as much damage as possible before it goes down.
That's absolutely right. It just tried to kind of stay in and see if it can do as much damage so that the Cordal can clean up this Discord, which looks like is absolutely going to happen. I mean, the Discord should have no problems whatsoever taking out this capital ship. It's even leveled up. So this is looking extremely bad for the Yacht Order Zealots right now. I think maybe one of their drone hosts also went down. Yeah, a portion of their fleet is focusing down the drone hosts, which is a smart idea because you want to get rid of these fighters as fast as you possibly can. Oh.
Something's going on. It appears that they are trying to get out of the way.
Potentially actually retreating. They, unlike the Nomads, they would prefer not to lose their capital ship, it appears. Although, it is going to be retreating into another bloodbath. It does look like the Zealots have this one under control, though. Yeah, this one, the Nomads are fleeing from it. They don't want to lose their canracks. Now, a lot of Vizari frigates are very expensive, but canracks are notable for not particularly being that straining on the economy, so they're actually okay with losing some of these, I would imagine. And yeah, they've gone and retreated their Discord in the nick of time. Only 700 hull left on that thing. And now they're going to go ahead and regroup their forces. Maybe trying to launch an actual attack. Oh, it looks like the Nomads have actually gained an upper hand here by bothering to colonize that ice planet. Still not something that the Zealots are interested in doing, it seems. And a little bit of
Have they been doing any work on their current civilizations?
Well, as you'll notice here at this asteroid, they have still not even built the metal and crystal extractors. Despite owning this planet since the start of the game. Now, that's a very, very aggressive money-saving technique. They don't want to pay the 250 credits to build those extractors that are going to just make them passive income. Probably because they wanted to spend it on one Disciple vessel. And, oh yeah, they just lost a drone host there. It is confusing to me why the Nomads have these forces here, but it seems like they're just trying to create some kind of distraction so that some of the forces are being peeled out of this fight.
Ooh, look at that.
The bloodbath has moved over here. This is not good.
They're definitely pouring in right now.
Yeah, not good for the Zealots because this is closer to their home territory. And, oh, and the very big mistake by the Zealots not to colonize this planet. It looks like the Nomads are potentially just going to use this as their own territory now, as another beachhead to launch extra assaults from. I gotta say,
does not look good for them.
Yeah, this is looking bad for the Yacht Quarter Zealots. This is... If the game ends like this, it's going to be a disappointing end to a fantastic series of games where they were going absolutely just 10-1 in the tournament, losing to basically nobody. Their signature single purge vessel rushes were basically undefeatable by some of the opponents, and it looks like that strategy just didn't work out in this game.
Well, that tends to happen when they both do the exact same strategy. they didn't have much of an economy to fall back on, so any small blunder would basically lead to their defeat. It
Yeah.
was basically a teetering edge on who would win on this game. It seems that they're just eked out a slight victory here.
Yeah, and it's going to be a game of slight victories from here on out. Of course, the asteroid fields and the asteroid belts being fought in, you know, not an ideal battleground for the simple fact that all weapons have a 20% chance to miss. I feel like the Yacht Order Zealots are making a big mistake by feeding so much experience to this Cordal. A level 4 Cordal. It looks like they've already spec'd into Power Surge, so this is going to be an absolute monster on the battlefield. Not looking good for them. And they're also they're making the very interesting decision not to focus the very heavily damaged Discord battleship. That one might come back to haunt them.
Guess we'll see how it pans out, Italics.
Yeah, you just never know what's going to happen in skirmishes like this. And to prove that point, it looks like the Nomads are actually on the back foot in this exchange.
That's very interesting.
They're not really able to get much done here. As you can see, the Zealots are just swarming. The fighters and Strikecraft are everywhere, and the Cordal, even with Power Surge, is probably not going to be able to shrug off the attacks from the bombers. They're really tearing that thing apart, as happened to their Marauder. And speaking of Marauder, they appear to have built another one. Evidently, they're very interested in using one of its abilities. I imagine they may be going for some kind of phase stabilizer play in the late game. But in order for that to work, they need to not lose the Marauder. So we'll see if they can actually make that happen.
This is looking quite like a awful scenario here. As you can see, the fighters are swarming that thing like gnats swarming a corpse.
Yeah, it's just like bees around a pot of honey. It's just truly terrible for the Nomads at this point. They have basically no anti-fighter support whatsoever. Let's see, how many flak frigates do they have? They have 9? Well, that's a decent amount, but it's not going to be enough. As you can see, they're just swarming with drone hosts. These drone hosts are extremely expensive. Of course, the Yacht Order Zealots not really caring. They, saved all that money by not building the metal and crystal extractors, so they have plenty of money to work with.
What's very interesting is the asteroid might actually benefit these fighters, given that the targeting systems might mistake the fighter for an asteroid, which is a classic mistake that the gunners on each capital ship can make.
That is a classic mistake, and it's something that is not often discussed in the meta. But yeah, the flak frigates may have a hard time actually targeting the bombers, and that is something that you do have to consider before you bring drone host swarms into an asteroid field. But obviously the Zealots did not consider that very much as they built. Am I looking at like 10? Yeah, 10 area drone hosts. That's a lot. And it's working out for them because, as we've seen, this capital ship is really taking a beating. Only 1,000 hull left, and it feels to me like they're willing to let this one die in the combat as well. I think
they did get that one planet. Did they end up colonizing the one down below?
Well, let's see. It does not appear. It appears that they are skirmishing for this planet.
This is quite a furious battle we're witnessing here.
Excuse, that was very unprofessional. Excuse me. But yes, it appears that they have not quite colonized this planet yet, and they have...
They don't need it. They save the money.
They're saving a lot of money by doing that. I do apologize. Very unprofessional on my part, but you just never know what kind of strategies are being labbed here, because this may have been something that the Zealots had been preparing for a long time, and you just don't know. It appears that also by doing that, we did miss the Cordal dying, but it did go down.
A huge play we're witnessing right here.
Oh, this massive retreat. This is a very smart retreat from the Nomads here, using distort gravity.
Fart cloud.
Yeah, they're using distort gravity to speed up their escape, essentially. And I honestly think in order to win this exchange, the Nomads are going to have to invest in more Sentinels. They're going to have to invest in more anti-air, because
and they're going to have to invest in more cryptocurrency.
They might have to do that as well. That will give them enough money to actually successfully invest in the anti-air. But the bottom line is that they need the anti-air. Because look at all of that Strikecraft. And they're speccing into Corvettes pretty hard, too. They've got quite a few Corvettes here, which is a typical Advent strategy. They've got 18 Corvettes.
Nice counterbalance.
Yeah. So, if we just look at the state of the galaxy right now, It's hard to see exactly who is winning. Obviously, the Nomads have the economic advantage, but the Zealots have the momentum. They definitely have the larger fleet at this point, and they're executing a two-pronged assault. They're trying to go for this ice planet, bringing the Discord, bringing a bunch of defense vessels, some of their drone hosts. The double Rapture combo is going into the asteroid belt. And that double Rapture combo, that's something that you love to see from the Zealots, because with both of them being able to use the Vengeance ability, it actually doesn't matter how big your fleet is. It still could take massive retaliation damage from the Vengeance, twice over.
I
And
have a feeling we're about to see something huge here.
this looks like they built a Jarosol. They may be abandoning their earlier strategy with the Marauder, but the Marauder is still alive. It's just gotten split up from the rest of the very meager Nomads fleet. Yeah, they're running away. They don't want to take this. I would run away too. I don't want to lose this capital ship that we've just built. Capital ships are quite expensive, so you want to make sure that you don't necessarily throw them away, and it doesn't look like they want to throw this one away.
I believe they're actually assaulting the base up on the top.
They are doing that.
there.
Let's go ahead and check in on this ice planet. We have... Well, there's where their Marauder is. Zealots are bringing in their fleet. This isn't the biggest fleet we've seen from them, but already six Zealots, or six drone hosts, so they are bringing in the fighters. And that's something that is working out really, really well for them so far. So, they want to continue that momentum, obviously. And, the bombers are going straight for the Marauder again, absolutely ravaging that thing. But
this is really something incredible we're witnessing right now.
It truly is. It looks like they're sending a couple... Yeah, this is a fight. It looks like they're sending in a couple of reinforcements here to help shore this up. Now, one thing you'll actually notice is that the balance of power with the fighters has shifted a little bit, actually in the Nomads' favor, because they do have quite a bit of flak here. And it appears that the rest of the fighters are distracted over here with the defenses, and of course they're trying to kill the Migrator, which is a smart move because they don't want it to start setting up a starbase. They don't want it to even have that possibility. That would be pretty bad. And
it would be extremely bad for them.
That would be very bad for the Zealots because I'm not sure that they have the power to punch through a starbase at this point. A lot of their fleet is Corvettes, which, as you know, do very poor structure damage. Again, though, with this Marauder, they're not retreating it. They want to hold this ground. It's very important to them that this ice planet does not fall to the Zealots, I'm sure. So they're fighting to their last breath to maintain control of this planet.
One last hurrah, as we're witnessing right now.
Right, absolutely. Now, this battle over here it looks like it's turning in the Zealots' favor. That being said, it is giving the Nomads time to build some defenses over here, which they are doing. They've got a couple of missile platforms. It looks like they have the nanites upgrade on the missile platforms, so that will help them out. Once the Nomads actually do make their way over there, if they do, of course it's totally going to be possible for the Discord to just start bombing the planet without necessarily even engaging with those defenses. But we'll see if perhaps they just want the XP for their capital ship. That might be something that they engage with just to get the experience. And there goes that third Marauder. I believe this is the third one.
There he goes.
Absolutely down for the count, and yeah, the level 7 Discord. So the Discord being level 6 gives it Revenge of the Fallen, which with all these Corvettes floating around, and just the numerousness of their disciple vessels, the Corvettes, the defense vessels, that's going to be a very, very strong ability. And it looks like, let's quickly check in.
We're witnessing a shift right now that the capital has fallen.
Yeah, it looks like the these Zealots are getting the upper hand in this fight as well. It looks like they're actually able to just maintain control of this asteroid belt.
I really thought that they were teetering there for a second, but it looks like they're actually making quite a substantial recovery here.
Yeah, they're making dents in this. Yeah, it looks like they've more or less taken control of this. It remains to be seen if they may or may not build a starbase here to sort of solidify their momentum, but I'm not even sure that they honestly have enough research for that, because it seems that they are going for a very minimal planet infrastructure strategy here. Now they have, so they have 2 Temple of Harmony, and one temple hostility, so it doesn't look like they actually are going to be able to have star bases available to them. They're making a very interesting play with just sticking with some of the most accessible ships. But it seems to be working out for them quite well, as they are absolutely... It seems to me that their assault on this planet is going to be successful.
Could very well happen.
Now, we do have pirates coming in again, and they have been engaging in a little bit of a bidding war. The pirates are currently going after the Nomads, and the fleet has upgraded to guarded. Yeah, the Zealots obviously putting money. The Zealots do not want to deal with a pirate attack. A pirate assault may be disastrous for them because of the lack of defenses that they have on their planets. And wow, they actually went out and colonized this one. So
that's incredible.
They've decided, I guess, now that they have the upper hand, that they could spend a little bit of money on something that isn't their fleet and actually build up their economy. Still not looking at any extractors on that asteroid, though.
Pirate raiders have left
and that's not good for the Zealots. They were not paying close enough attention in that bidding war, and they actually lost. So the pirates are going to rally. There's the pirate fleet.
Oh dear, that is quite a massive fleet of pirates.
Well, it won't be all of them, Italics. It will just be these, but that's still going to be a problem for them because they do not have the defenses for this. The pirates...
We'll see if they'll manage to slip by.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see where the pirates go. They have two options. They can attack the new ice planet that they have. Actually, the pirates might attack any of these three because I believe that they're all the same distance away. So let's see what the pirates decide to do. Are they forking out? Oh, they may be going for a double-pronged assault here. That is especially bad for the Zealots. That's going to put a lot of pressure on their infrastructure if that is what the pirates are doing. But
that'll dampen their efforts for a blitz.
Yeah,
even though this has been quite an extended battle so far.
It's been quite a long blitz, but the Nomads are not doing well for it at all. The Zealots are really taking control of this ice planet here. That capital ship is almost down, but they're doing the right thing, I think, by staying in, even though it may die.
It's actually quite an interesting decision, given that by sticking here and using their own forces to defend their planets, they can actually send in the pirates to do their bidding and hopefully destroy some of the economy that they've been building up.
Absolutely, the pirates will be able to have mostly free reign over the Zealots, of course. By deciding not to build much economy, the pirates actually, in a 500 IQ move, don't really have much to assault, as it turns out. So, yeah, again, not building extractors here. So
they might actually show up and think that it's already been raided by some other pirate party.
Absolutely true, and I think that may have been the long con that they were going for. Maybe intentionally losing that bidding war. Hold on, Italics. We have a scuffle going on at the capital planet for the Nomads right now.
This is what we came to see here at the finals.
This is really what you love to see from the Zealots. A very, very offensive approach. You know, not putting much into economy, but going full military. And yeah, I gotta say, it looks like the Nomads, by spending a little bit too much time, because they've built refineries. So they spent a lot of money building up their economy and with these defenses, but not really enough with their fleet. They're paying the price for it. This planet over here is currently being bombed. The capital ship is indeed going into defenses for even more experience. It's already level 8. That is a terrifying sight to see if you're the Nomads.
Once it finishes its job here, it might move on to another
It very well might.
That could be very destructive for them.
Going for the last-ditch effort of building a phase jump inhibitor, which is going to accomplish absolutely nothing since they're already assaulting the planet. And the pirates... It looks like all the pirates have decided to go their entire fleet for this planet, which, of course, is completely undefended. So it looks like they've sent a portion of their fleet to go and try to make sure that this doesn't cause any issues. Although I don't see any siege frigates along with these pirates, so honestly, very smart move from the Zealots by not building anything here. There's nothing for them to destroy. So that's a very interesting strategy, and it looks like it's working out well because the Zealots are potentially going to be able to just ignore these pirates and, you know, work towards the assault on the Nomads' home planet.
Well, it all goes to show. You just never know.
Just never know what's going to happen with those pirate raids. And Nomads potentially actually mounting a decent resistance here. Yeah, the Zealots are deciding to leave. surprisingly, they are actually bailing out of this engagement. Now, it's very
Quite an
true.
interesting play.
Yeah, the Nomads, that is a frightening amount of long-range frigates, especially with the phase missiles ignoring shields. Oh, that is not a good amount of health for that Rapture. It might actually go down before it's able to escape. Yeah, it's not looking good for that. The long-range frigates are able to just tear that thing apart from a distance, so they just continue focus firing it. That's
Oh, they
Rapture
are
may not get
closing
out.
in. We might see the end of these two.
That's a level 5. This one may be okay. It's going to be really close, Italics. No, that one's not getting out. That was a level 5 Rapture. Almost level 6. Level 6 would have given it domination, which would have allowed it to actually steal some of these frigates from the Nomads, but no, they actually mounted a successful defense. Those missiles going straight over the fucking phase lane. But yeah, they were able to mount a successful defense. I'm honestly a little bit surprised.
It's quite fascinating. It's actually interesting that the sister ship managed to make it out. I wonder where they will go now.
Yeah, that Rapture, it's unclear where it will go now. Just to
Perhaps
sort
it'll
of...
spend some time recovering and hopefully prepare to mount another attack.
it may want to go ahead and recover some of its shields here just by idling in the asteroid belt. But again, as I said, those phase missiles don't really care about how much shields you have, so...
They'll just go right on in and rip up your hull, won't they?
That's absolutely correct. So the shields are not that much of a big deal. It looks like they're deciding...
Let's check in on the pirates here.
Yeah, the pirates... They're deciding to engage the pirates head-on, which... pirates are often seen as sometimes a blessing in disguise, because you can get a lot of combat experience from them. Of course, they don't have any capital ship here, but... maybe they can bring one in later and it can start soaking up this experience. If you're gonna, you know, lay out the pirates like this, you really want to have a capital ship in the gravity well, Italics. Otherwise, you're wasting all of this combat experience. So the Rapture might actually be sent in just to soak up some of that XP, but it looks like it's deciding just to sort of stay here and maybe try to pick off some of the fleet that is coming in from the Nomads.
It appears that some frigates are actually starting to close in there.
Yes, it is. It looks like...
I believe we are seeing a retaliation up on the ice planet.
Yeah, we absolutely are. It looks like the Zealots have not been doing a great job bombing this planet. They had a Discord here. It looks like it just died. It ran into the defenses, I think, looking for extra XP to maybe give to the Halcyon here, but it just straight up died. That was a level 8 Discord, so that's a very, very... that's not something you want to see as the Zealots. That's pretty disastrous. That was a very high-level capital ship, and those things are very hard to stop. But, you know, it just goes to show you never know what is actually in the playbook for these people. Yeah, Nomads, of course, going straight for the siege frigate bombing their planet. Unless the Halcyon starts bombing at this point, they might not even actually destroy this planet. And the population, yeah, the population is still extremely high on this planet. They may have been doing social specialization on here too, just to get that extra amount of economy. Nomad's playing very economy-oriented, and it looks like that may actually be helping them out in the long run here. With the fact that the Zealots' attacks so far have mostly failed, the Nomads are now in an excellent position. They may even have enough space to research a Titan, and we may see a Titan deployed this game.
They did indeed build a factory for it, I believe.
They did build the Titan Foundry, so they're, you know, obviously planning to do something, but this ice planet is going to give them the space that they actually need to carry that out. So let's see. They have 2 weapons labs here. 2 weapons labs here. They have enough research for the Titan. They absolutely do. So yeah, the Foundry, it may actually come into play here.
If that thing comes out, it might be over.
I would say so. If that thing comes out, the Nomads are definitely looking at an advantageous position here. And wow, that is a level 5 Volcarus. The momentum is shifting in the favor of the Nomads from this battle. I mean, again, this has kind of become a blessing in disguise because the fact that they didn't lose this planet and now they're able to soak up so much experience from this attacking fleet.
They'll come back, get that retaliation, and hopefully up their defenses a bit and get that Titan out.
Yeah, if they can get the Titan out. Oh, the phase missile swarm's absolutely doing work on this fleet. You'll notice also that most of the strike craft have been dealt with. It looks like, yeah, the Nomads have decided to retaliate against the Strikecraft by building lots of their own carriers. And that's going to be their strategy for dealing with the Strikecraft, and you'll notice it is very much working. The skies are
Yeah, you
pretty
barely
much
see any
clear.
flying around now.
Absolutely. You just have all these Corvettes flying around, which are getting picked off extremely quickly, because the Corvettes are very weak. And without any capital ships, the Halcyon also went down. It looks like the Zealots' attack is not going to succeed. That is a huge blow to the Zealots' economy for losing 2 of those capital ships, and a very high-level one, as well as all these expensive drone hosts. If they don't start retreating these, they might die.
Yeah, they might die.
They very well might, and it looks like, oh, the phase jump inhibitor, so they're actually not going to be able to retreat at all, even if they wanted to, so they really have no choice but to stay in. This has been a fantastic play.
Death throws right now.
Yeah, this has just been a phenomenal play by the Nomads. Their capital ship now, Volcarus is level 6. That's going to give it access to disintegration, which is going to make any capital ship 1v1s heavily tilted in the favor of the Nomads, because that ability is so strong at destroying enemy capital ships. And yeah, these drone hosts, they have absolutely no choice. They have no choice but to stay here and die.
Yeah, I have a feeling that the game might have ended when the capital died, given that it was basically forming the backbone of any assault they were doing.
It really
They had
was.
That, fighter support.
And that was a huge mistake to let that capital ship die. They really should not have gone in for the defenses, but sometimes the Zealots may have felt that they were in a position where unless they had a level 9 or 10 Discord that they couldn't actually win, so they took the gamble on getting the extra XP. It didn't work out. Let's see.
It's unfortunate to hear it, Alex.
Now, this is interesting. The Nomads have actually gotten these, what is it, assault deployment upgrade for the Jaran Migrator, is that correct?
I believe so.
I believe that's correct. So now they're going to be able to actually build star bases, which we may or may not see. And another phase jump inhibitor. The Nomads are definitely turning this game around. Their strategy of paying very, very close attention to their economy and to their infrastructure is paying off for them in the long run. Yet another assault from the Zealots is going very poorly. And again, you'll see this whole fleet. They have no choice but to stay in because of the phase jump inhibitors. They're not going to be able to retreat.
It's a wonderful play by them, because if they do a failed assault, they'll have no choice but to lose all their forces.
Absolutely.
Unless they can get that phase jump and Amphibionator down.
Yeah, unless they can, but the Nomads are one step ahead as they've actually built 2, meaning that even if this one does go down, they have another one. That Rapture is down. One advantage, of course, of not being able to retreat from a fight means not, needing to spend the energy to micromanage the forces. Are they trying to escape? They are trying to escape. Well, this is just a bad play. I can tell you for sure. I'm not on the level of these players, but I can tell you for sure that this is not a good idea, except the Nomads are deciding not to capitalize on this and are taking their fleet away. I think that they may be wanting honestly, the only thing I can come up with is they're trying to actually build the Zealots' confidence by letting them...
I believe they're doing a group huddle right now and deciding what they're going to do.
Well,
it does not appear clear.
Yeah, they're stuck. They're trying to retreat, getting a little bit eaten alive by the bombers, but honestly, if this fleet just stayed in to kill them, it looks like they're going back. Are they going to have enough time to come back and kill them before they actually are able to jump away? I guess we'll just have to see. Very, very confusing plays, but when you're up this high, when you're watching, play this high level, you never know what you're going to see.
Pirate raid is forming.
Oh, I believe we're watching them slowly get away, although it looks like the missiles are now coming in. It might be over for some of these.
Some of them are, they were able to get out with quite a few of these ships, actually. But yeah, they were able to get the phase missile swarm. And another pirate attack is coming in. You can see the bidding war is it's really heating up. We're in the thousands of money being spent here.
Yeah. My goodness. If the Nomads get this off, it might be over for the Zealots.
If they can, I don't know, the intensity of the pirate raid has somehow not gone up, even though there's, more than 2,000 credits on the line. The Nomads, I think, will be more than equipped to deal with a pirate raid, so if it goes to them, it's more or less wasted. But it's really, really close. Here come the
Zealots with the bid.
Yeah, it's really, really close. It may be going to the Zealots.
Guess we'll just have to see.
And it's going off to the Zealots, so they're getting yet another raid for free, courtesy of the credits spent by the Nomads. And we'll see. They actually have decided to build crystal extractors on there. Have they done so for the asteroid? Ooh, and we actually see a starbase here. So at this point in the game, the Zealots are actually well equipped to deal with pirates. And do we see... Ooh, things are getting a little bit spicy over here. They're sending in that anti-structure cruiser as well. The good old starfish.
Witness, round 2 here.
Yeah, round 2, they're coming in. They've gone ahead and built another Discord. I think that the Discord is, you know, as I mentioned in the beginning, a fantastic choice for a game like this. You want to be constantly harassing the large fleets that the Vizari rebels are able to put out. And at this point, I gotta say, I think the Nomads are still going to be able to push this one back, even though it does look like, you know, they have the anti-structure cruiser, they have the siege frigate, which is going to be able to go in uncontested. But, you know,
straight up ignoring it. It's quite incredible.
They are ignoring it for now, but, you know, this planet does have 7,500 health, so it's going to take a long time for this purge vessel to actually have any impact. And I guess they're just going to go ahead and assume that 265 planet population, more than good enough. Yeah, and as you can see, they're running away from this engagement. I think that that's the correct move from the Zealots at this point. No phase jump inhibitor on this planet, so they're going to be able to get away. Yeah, that's probably
just in the
smart.
nick of time too. It appears that they're closing in.
Yeah, no, they're able to save this structure cruiser again. Just like the drone host, these starfish are extremely expensive. So anytime the Nomads are able to destroy one of these, it will be a large economic boost for them. And ooh, Nomads,
my goodness,
perhaps
quite a large fleet there.
Yeah, not content with just defending their own planets, they've actually decided perhaps to come in with the pirate raid. Now that would be very interesting. Of course, if this planet was better defended.
Tandem attack here.
Yeah, this
I guess we'll just have to see how it pans out.
Now, I think the Nomads might be getting distracted here because it's going to be very worthwhile to try to pick off any of the ships they can from this fleet passing by. So they're probably going to stay in for a second here. But yeah, it looks like this
really
fleet...
in the thick of it now.
There absolutely are. And this fleet is going to be retreating to the ice planet, bringing in the extra reinforcements from the fleet. I think it's very, very possible that the Nomads are just going in on this ice planet. Now, of course, we're seeing the same thing from the Zealots in the other corner here. They did bring another anti-structure cruiser, coming in with the Adjudicator. No starbase on this planet yet. I think if I was the Zealots, I would be focusing that phase jump inhibitor, but no, they're interested in maybe taking out some economy, going for the refinery, actually. You know, if they can't get the refinery down, that is able to remove quite a bit of the economic pressure from the Nomads. But, their structure cruiser not necessarily staying in on that. Their anti-structure cruiser is going to be much more effective on this cluster of defenses and labs, which I agree, I think that that's a good target to go for. So it looks like this is mostly an anti-structure raid with the supporting fleet. This is a pretty good supporting fleet. Lots of illuminators. Those are very, very high damage. A couple of corvettes to provide anti-air support to the Adjudicator, potentially. And it doesn't look like... Oh, they're bringing in another one. Building 2 phase jump inhibitors. This is going to get a little bit interesting. It's sort of a invisible war at this point. There's not much fleet action going on here, but there's a lot of tactical action going on here. So
absolutely.
That
was the battle down below?
Yeah, let's check this out. The pirates are engaged. Nomads are going in. The pirates, you know, a guarded raid is not super terrible, so it looks like the pirates will be going down pretty quickly, but the Nomads are going to be able to capitalize on a little bit of the chaos caused by them. And they're actually taking some of their forces over here, potentially trying to provide some support to their ice planet, but potentially trying to gain a foothold and perhaps attack this asteroid. Now, I have to imagine that by this point the artifact on this planet has been uncovered, but it's also possible that it hasn't. We still don't really know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's been mostly a defensive battle for them, but they might be moving in for an assault now.
The Nomads, they're in an interesting position here because they have a massive fleet. It looks like they're pulling out from this engagement. They didn't send quite enough ships to make an impact. They're going to leave this one to the pirates. The pirates will probably be able to take out a couple of the drone hosts, which is pretty bad for the Zealots because, again, those are so expensive. But, you know, the pirates themselves doing a little bit of a number on these defenses, but, you know, the Zealots are going to be able to take them out.
And it's a very important planet that they have there. It's contributing quite a lot to the economy, considered how well upgraded it is.
Absolutely, yeah. It does have 4 extractors, which they did decide to build, so that's going to give them a huge boost to their crystal economy, for sure. And at this point in the game, it feels like the Nomads have the upper hand, even though they are being assaulted over here on this front. I do believe that the Nomads are going to be able to repel this assault. Come in with a lot of anti-structure cruisers, though. They're very interested in making sure that these defenses and these labs are taken out. And I will say, if they're able to take out these labs, that can pose a significant problem for the Nomads, because that Titan that they potentially want to build won't be possible if they're able to destroy those weapons labs.
This could cripple their research.
I think it absolutely will. Now, it does look they have invested in the phasic shield, so they're going to get that 33% damage reduction on a timer, which is going to make things a little bit harder for the Zealots, but they're still tearing through these structures with relative ease. The Illuminators, it was definitely a good idea to, I think, spec into these, because that's going to make the fights with the Nomads' fleet a lot easier. Yeah, their fleet is here. The Nomads are bringing defenses to maybe try to clean this up.
Slowly wrapping around the planet right now.
Slowly wrapping around the planet, deciding not to go over it. Going a little bit under it, though. Yeah, kind of going under it, which is a good strategy for the surprise factor. In fact, the Illuminators' side beams may not actually be able to attack them from there, so that's potentially a very strong play there to go underneath rather than around.
Very interesting tactic for sure.
Yeah, that is something you don't see from low-level players, that's for sure. They would probably decide to go around and not even consider going under. Nomads, though, they're going to lose some structures, it seems. If they were focusing on the Adjudicators, I think that they're fairly confident that either the Adjudicators will not be able to do enough damage, or they're just okay with losing some of the labs because they can be rebuilt fairly cheaply. I don't know, it's difficult to say exactly what they're thinking right now, but they are nonetheless deciding to try to thin out the Illuminators. Yeah, going for those Illuminators. As you can see, the beam cannons doing a lot of work, and a lot of them are positioned very intelligently so that all 3 of their beam cannons are actually able to fire. But the Nomads do have a slightly stronger fleet in comparison to the Illuminators. I think that was a hangar defense that just blew up. Yeah, they're definitely losing some structures. Oh, and corvettes are coming on the other side to maybe clean up these anti-structure cruisers, which would be a good idea, because they're currently doing quite a lot of damage to the Nomads' infrastructure. Let's go ahead and check in on the other parts of the galaxy here. Oh, this is interesting. No fleet to speak of from the Zealots on this planet, and the Nomads are closing in. They do have this starbase, but they have elected not to upgrade it. Huge mistake, potentially, unless they are currently upgrading it, in which case it's possible with a mass disorientation meteoroid control combo.
Severe beatdown here.
Yeah, it looks like
in terms of this asteroid.
The beatdowns are potentially coming, but if the Zealots had planned things correctly, this could be a massive suicide run from the Nomads here. If the starbase pops out with the mass disorientation meteoroid control, then it's going to be a huge issue for the Nomads, potentially. There could be a lot of AoE damage they're not expecting, so we'll have to see what happens here. You really never know what's going to happen with starbases like this. They can have any amount of upgrades. And the Nomads...
That's what we came here for.
Absolutely. The Nomads taking a play from the Zealots playbook. Lots of strike craft. They're absolutely swarming with these. They've built quite a few transporters. I think they've seen the value. And oh, that's not good for the Zealots. They actually were not able to pull that combo off.
And there goes the starbase.
Yeah. Potentially looking to have the starbase just destroyed as fodder. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if they actually had any other upgrades on that thing, but they may have just decided to go ahead and sack it. Just because. And, of course, getting the asteroid, getting the meteoroid control combo does cost quite a lot of money, so it's possible that they simply weren't able to get it in time. And oh, this is very interesting. The Nomads, not content with just assaulting that asteroid, are also actively assaulting the home planet. And given that they have the Vulcarists here, they're going to be able to use
didn't seem content with it.
Yeah, the bombing platforms. I say, what do you think about this? Because the bombing platforms are actually able to let their Vulcarists contribute to the fight without needing to bomb the planet.
It's very interesting. If they manage to thin out the ranks here at the home planet, they could close in for the jugular and maybe end this game entirely.
As you can see, the planet is taking quite a bit of damage. If the Zealots are not able to repel this attack, we could see the game end right now. It's very possible. Let's see, where are the Zealots' fleet right now? The Zealots do not have much fleet to speak of. They're very, they seem to be...
It appears they've been thinned out by that last-ditch assault that they pulled off earlier in the round.
We're currently seeing a massive momentum shift in the favor of the Nomads. They're currently assaulting all 3 of the Zealots' planets, with more and more reinforcements only coming at the same time, absolutely. There seems to be absolutely no resistance that the Zealots can put up. What happened to their fleet? Their fleet has been absolutely ravaged. They have basically nothing to their name anymore. This is extremely bad. Yeah, the starbases were taken out. They have this Titan foundry, but not building anything in it. This very much could be the end.
It's under attack as well, I believe.
It is under attack. It's being shot at by the extra weapon banks on the Vulcarists. And they brought in some defenses here, but you know, those anti-structure cruisers are not going to be able to do much against the fleet. As you know, they can't actually target ships, they can only target structures.
They built like 4 of them as well.
Yeah. You know, to defend the planet.
Of course.
Now,
it's quite an interesting strategy. I actually saw that a couple times last year. It didn't seem to pan out so well, but it was definitely confusing for the enemy team.
Oh.
They're not sure how to deal with that, considering that it's a very unorthodox strategy.
Yeah, I remember that one game from the Cult of Rockthorn where we did see the 20 Solinus Adjudicator rush strategy, and then they tried to pull that fleet back to defend their planet, only to realize that it wasn't really going to be doing much. And that was a very, very sad fight, because that was the Cult of Rockthorn was a top seed for this tournament, and it's really sad that it didn't end up working out for them.
Reconnaissance reveals that a pirate raid.
But man, it's just kind of looking like the Zealots' slow death at this point. They don't have much they can mount a resistance with. The enemy Vulcarus already level 8. It's got high-level bombardment platforms going off on the planet. And their only defenses right now are being forced to retreat using the...
Yeah, they left. Was that their only capital?
It might be. That Rapture, it looks like it very much is.
Oh, and it's about to come in.
Yeah, so it's...
Look at that.
It's retreating straight into a very bad position. Now...
It's about to get eaten alive.
Well, okay, so the Nomads did actually lose a bidding war there, but I don't think the Pirates are going to be able to make much of a difference here unless the Nomads decide to pull out their entire fleet to destroy the Pirates, get a little bit of extra XP on their capital ships, and come back for another fight. But honestly, the Nomads have this one in the bag if they're able to keep up the pressure. Except for the fact that they're actually running away.
It definitely came to them, considering all the fighters and other frigates in the area.
It seems you may have spoken a little bit too soon. They are actually leaving. It may truly be that they want that pirate XP. I'm not sure. It would help them clench this fight out a little bit sooner. I mean, the Zealots are on death row with the amount of territory they've lost. As you can see, actually, they've colonized this planet. The Nomads have gained a foothold right here on top of territory that used to be the Zealots. So
practically a hop and a skip away from them now.
Exactly, they're right next to each other. You can see that this entire solar system is looking very Nomad-centric at the moment.
Yeah, I believe we're witnessing the end. And frankly, that Titan could come out any minute now.
It truly could. They're not currently constructing it, but at any moment, they definitely have the resources and the research to do so if they ever want to. It doesn't seem like it's going to be necessary. Absolutely, this, again, very Nomad-centric solar system at the moment. Looking like fucking gridlock traffic right here in New York City.
It's just an average day in New York.
Pretty much is what it looks like. Well, you know, these two roads. Very, very
If they were to
clear.
consolidate their forces, they could very easily end the homeworld right now.
Yeah, but it looks like they're doing a very... They're trying to give their pilots of these ships, perhaps, a little bit of extra experience doing phase jumps, so they're just kind of going back and forth between these two planets and the asteroid
They're getting a
belts.
bit of exercise in. It's important to get the core workouts
Yeah,
and work the abdomen. Make sure you get the chest, pecs, abdominals, all that. And it's very important because you got to maintain your good health. Got to do jumping jacks, sit-ups, V-ups, that kind of thing, bicycles. It's very important to keep your core in good strength so that way you can bend over and get fucked by this fleet right now.
I have to agree. I mean, if you're not keeping your bones in good health, that's going to be very, very, it's disadvantageous to have your bones atrophy in space. So you don't want that to happen. You want to make sure you're constantly exercising when you're out in the great beyond. That's absolutely true.
You don't want that osteoporosis.
Yeah. The Nomads kind of giving up their momentum. They've went and ravaged this planet, destroyed everything on it, and are going for the kill, but they just kind of left their siege frigate there. Not much going on. It looks like they might be deciding to go back in, and this fleet... Excuse me, this is going to be more than large enough to take out any other defenses that the Zealots can muster.
I believe they have finished their workout routine and are now coming in for the final lap.
They may be, although they might still be going for the workout. It looks like they're probably still working out. Potentially interested in fighting these pirates for the XP.
Forgot about leg day.
Yeah, they got to go back. But, you know, I got to be honest, I don't think that the Nomads really need the XP. They're going for it anyway. This capital ship's already level 8. If you think about it, a level 8 and a level 9 Volcarus are basically just as deadly, which is to say that they're both extremely deadly. So I don't think that they really are going to need this. The pirates, of course, not going to be able to run away because of the phase jump inhibitor. But I don't know if this is much of an advantage. This is a iffy tactical move from the Nomads to come back and try to address this pirate situation when they already have the starbase eating them alive. They don't really need their fleet here. But, I mean, it just goes to show you never really know what the pros are thinking in these circumstances. They may honestly be looking for that slight extra edge by getting the XP bonus.
It does in fact pay to come back and make sure that those pirates won't accidentally trip and fall and destroy the starbase.
Now, it is actually possible that if they were afraid the pirates were going to destroy a lab, that could throw a wrench into some of their plans. It may even deny them of some ships if they're able to destroy, for instance, a weapons lab, and then they can't build enforcers anymore. That's very possible. But pirate raids of this size are not going to really be destroying that many structures. But they have sent everything and the kitchen sink to clean this one up. And, well, you know, they got their wish. They're killing the pirates off quite quickly. But yeah, the complete total and utter redirection of forces to deal with, like, you know, 20 ships is a bit of an interesting tactical choice. But again, as I said, you never really know what the pros are thinking in these circumstances. We do get to have a good look at the Nomads fleet, though. We can see their composition is looking like 2 Volcaruses, Jarcel, and how many, yeah, that's just a very, very threatening fleet. 28 transporters, so that's going to be 28 times 2, 46 strike craft squadrons. Quite an incredible number.
So as you can see,
They're going back in over here. They didn't quite bring their entire fleet. Of course, the Zealots are... Well, okay, it looks like they may be done with that diversion, and they are now moving as one single unit, it seems, over back to the asteroid field.
Just launched a new Titan.
Well, they've decided...
just showed up.
They've decided to build the Titan. This is going to be a major game changer for the Nomads. It may allow them to have the foresight to actually commence an assault. I mean, the assault may already be completely underway here. It looks like the forces are being totally diverged in one constant stream over to this asteroid. And
you could basically just get a bicycle and just ride on the hulls of the ships. It just makes a straight bridge.
You absolutely could, yeah. And they're potentially interested in... They may want to actually, before they go in for the homeworld, if they're... Assuming they're able to take this asteroid and they don't get distracted by something else, you know, maybe a errant pirate halfway across the fucking galaxy, then they may actually want to take this planet and colonize it and explore it for the artifact. That may be something that they're interested in.
Oh my god, they just keep pouring in, don't they? This might just be the end for them, honestly.
Yeah, the Zealots running away from this engagement, they're not very interested.
And the Titan hasn't even arrived yet. It's on its way.
Titan is on its way. It is at this asteroid belt, and yes, it is moving in the same vicinity as the fleet. It is, of course, moving with the fleet here. So it will eventually get here, and when it does, you know, the Zealots obviously are not going to have the space to build their own Titan. They're just simply not going to have the research facilities to do so. So they're not going to be able to mount much of a resistance. And yes, the remnants of the Zealots' fleet is right here, and this is all they have
Here's
left.
a grouping up for one final.
Never mind, they actually did build a Titan. I don't know when that happened,
incredible.
but I completely missed that one. I don't know how they managed to do that, but they did. I guess that's just why they're pro. Now, this is interesting because the Zealots look like they're in a losing position here, but if it does come down to Titan v Titan battles, then the Advent Rebels here with the Erratica, they have a massive advantage because the Erratica is going to be significantly better at 1v1ing with Titans than the Kulturosk is.
That being said, the supporting fleet of the other team might be enough to turn the tide on this one.
Very true, but it's very, very possible that if the Erratica starts getting a lot of experience and levels up Castic Burst, that is insane AoE damage, and it may actually, if the Nomads do not manage their fleet properly, it's entirely possible that they may be able to microwave their fleet out of existence.
I guess they're just waiting here right now. They're just cleaning up the last couple ships, and then I guess we'll just watch them slowly draw in.
We're seeing a lot of capital ships from the Nomads. They have... Let's go ahead and get the numbers on their fleet. Let's see.
Here comes the Titan.
There is the Titan, finally arrived. And the Titan is going to have... We have 50 Assailants, 23 Enforcers, two Evacuators, 1 Ranculus, 2 Desolators, and of course the Titan. One... You know, just to spice it up, 1 Stalacus Subverter, just one. I guess that's really all you need. Shield Disruption is, after all, a very low cooldown ability. But yes, this fleet is extremely threatening. I would not want to be down the barrel.
There are even more coming.
There are even more coming. Constant, steady stream of reinforcements. Titan is using Nano Leech for absolutely no reason. I think it's realized it's going to lose the antimatter from the phase jump anyway, so just going to use that ability. Why the fuck not? And here it is. Here's the defense from the Zealots.
I believe what we're about to witness is the biggest battle.
Oh, now, okay, the Zealots are actually employing that strategy I was just speaking about. It looks like it's a level 1 Titan, but they went ahead and they got Castic Burst on it right away. They know that their only ticket out of this is Castic Burst. So the Nomads have to play this very carefully. They need to make sure that this Titan does not get much experience, because if it levels up enough, it might be able to... This sounds absolutely insane, but it honestly could turn the game completely around for the Zealots. We'll just have to see. The Nomads fleet currently getting microwaved. I see that Castic Burst coming in. The Enforcers getting picked off because there's just so many bombers, and the bombers are going to be able to do extra damage to that heavy armor. But the Nomads have a very, very large fleet, but the Zealots, they have the home field advantage, and they have the Titan AoE advantage as well. And yeah, the Nomads potentially may have been starting to run away there. I don't know where the Nomads Titan really needs to come in at this point. Something blew up over there. I think a Zealot ship tried to escape or something, and it got picked off by strike craft.
I'm not exactly sure why they're waiting around here.
They really have no need to be waiting, I guess. They just really wanted to make sure that that Nano Leech was fully wasted before going in. And interesting, bringing in a Migrator all the way over here, we might see a Starbase there, but this is a very confusing turn of events, because what I said that the Nomads really should not be doing, they are doing. They're not bringing in their whole fleet, they're bringing in a meager fleet against the defenses for the Zealots here, and they're feeding this Titan experience. That's really not going to be good for them. Yeah, it's level 2. The one out that the Zealots have in this game is getting a high-level Titan, and okay.
The Titan seems to be moving away right
Titan is going after the Destructor. They really... Okay. There's the rest of the Nomads
now.
fleet.
Here comes the fleet.
Oh, they're going in. They're going in. Yeah. Nomads are...
This is going to be the biggest battle we're about to win.
snapping out of their stupidity. The Titan completely out of position because it's chasing that bomber. It doesn't really need to be doing that. The strike craft will be able to take it out just fine, I think, but yeah, just that's poor management of the Titan, I gotta say. And yeah, the only defenses left from the Zealots is just a couple of capital ships, some beam defense platforms, a whole bunch of ships over here that can't really contribute to the fight. Yeah, not looking good at all for the Zealots. They're one out. They had it, and they're kind of throwing it away, using Castic Burst on the lone siege frigate, because that thing's really gotta die.
They made sure to eradicate it completely.
Absolutely.
It's quite a dangerous vessel after all.
Very dangerous. It might bomb the planet and, you know, deal a little bit of damage to that. Did they... Oh, they have another one over there. Well, they'd leveled up again. It is still getting experience, mind you, from all of the strike craft dying, because those are worth, I think, 2 experience per strike craft, which is a lot when, you know, they're in these numbers. But you can see their Culturisk trying to chase the fleet while it runs away to destroy the siege frigates. I think that, you know what might be happening at this point is the Zealots might just be completely concerned with preserving as much economy as they possibly can. The Destructor is going to reduce the population of the planet, which means less tax dollars and less money, and they might be thinking, well, if we can just keep up the ship production, it's possible that we could, you know, fight this one off. Though I think that that might not be the right strategy. I honestly think that their entire salvation lies in this Titan being able to gain experience during this fight and use Castic Burst to destroy the enemy fleet.
I believe by chasing those ships earlier, they have inadvertently done a very good job of prolonging the life of that Titan. Oh, and it appears that they are now turning around, possibly for a huge 1v1. It'll only be a matter of time until one of them goes down, I have a feeling.
Now let's see, what is this? Because again, what the Titan does at this point, it will decide this entire game. Deciding to use Castic Burst on the bombardment platforms, that's really not something you want to be doing. You want to be using Castic Burst on the fleet itself, because that's what you need to get out of the way. It's not looking good. As you can see, the hull is going down extremely rapidly because of those phase missiles bypassing the shields. That is actually one thing that the Zealots might not have been thinking too hard about. This is dying extremely quickly because of those phase missiles. The amount of bombers is absolutely brutal. The amount of bombers and the phase missiles from the Culturisk are causing this to die extremely quickly, and there goes their only chance. There goes their only chance of turning this game around. At this point, the Vulcaruses are going to be able to just bombardment platform this planet down, and there's not much the Zealots can do anymore. Nano Leech is just wrapping up this fight. They're leaving.
I believe that's
Alex, that was a very exciting end to this game. It just needs to... The Nomads now just need to do the absolute bare minimum and bomb the planet.
I believe now they're starting to glass the planet, as you can see.
They are starting to do that. The bombardment platforms are making it completely impossible for them not to fuck this up. And it looks like the Zealots, you know, last-ditch effort sending in any capital ships they can, you know. You don't really care that much about losing them now. And there it is. That's the game. That's the game. Hueful Nomads victorious, and they take home the grand prize. Hueful Nomads are your world champions, and they will be taking home all $5 of Chuck E. Cheese tokens. Alex, this has been an incredible game. Do you want to talk a little bit about the strategies that we saw at play here in this thrilling conclusion to the World Championship?
I actually thought it was quite interesting how they used the pirates in order to distract the entire fleet and make sure that they would completely eradicate them. Quite an amazing play. As we saw, there was quite a lot of chasing of lone craft, and that did help to prolong the fight. But in the end, it appeared that the Titans and just the overwhelming size of the fleet of the Nomads just completely closed it out and ended it. What was also interesting was that the colonies that they had set up earlier seemed to really help with establishing that early game economy. The Nomads definitely spent more time making sure that they had planetary control,
Absolutely.
But as it turns out, it just ended for them once they started getting the Titan in. You knew all it was already over.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it was very interesting. The Zealots had some very unorthodox strategies, foregoing the economic development to focus completely on their assault. Was, I think, a respectable position, and you just love to see those risks being taken in high-stakes games like this. So I gotta commend them a little bit for that. Obviously, it did not end up working out. I think that perhaps since they were gunning for the Titan, they may have built the Titan a little bit too late in the game. If they'd gotten the Titan out a little bit earlier, as I said, that Castic Burst really could have absolutely decimated the Nomads fleet, even without their Titan to support it. So
Definitely could have turned the tide a lot earlier, but I don't know why they didn't choose to do that, considering that they had all that money from not building the extractors.
that's very true. They did have the extra 250 credits from each extractor not being built. And also deciding not to colonize the ice planet did give them a little bit of extra leeway in terms of not needing to actually develop that planet. So their tax income was, significantly boosted for a small period. So I think that was the most interesting strategy that was employed there in this game. But I will admit also, I will totally agree, using the pirates as a distraction technique was extremely effective for the Zealots if they'd been able to capitalize on it. They did actually get the Nomads, despite their immense momentum, to pull out and give the Zealots a chance to actually recover. And if that
They
at that
definitely had an
point,
opportunity there.
if at that point the Titan had been built, this game may have turned out differently. It's very possible. But that's what you love about this game, is that, it's really not over until it is completely over. Though I think in this case the Nomads definitely deserve their victory. Taking their
Absolutely. We saw quite a lot of back and forth, highs and lows, and in the end, it was quite a beautiful fight between two Titans. I believe we all got what we came here for, and that was quite an amazing play.
We
Quite
definitely
an
did.
amazing battle.
Absolutely. We definitely got what we came here for. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching. That concludes the Sins of a Solar Empire 2022 Grand Championships. The Hueful Nomads are your champions. And we'll be back next year with an even more exciting roster. We're already planning it out, and it's going to be something spectacular. So until then, from me and Italics, good night.
Good night, guys.